Where are you guys from? What country?
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
India.
India. Where are you from?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah.
Turkey. Okay.
India.
India. Where are you guys from?
Turkey.
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 Where are you guys from?
China.
China.
Ecuador.
Ecuador? Where are you guys from?
India.
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 India, Sagar Baba.
India. India.
India.
India?
India.
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 India?
Yes.
India.
All India?
India.
India. Iran.
Iran.
You're all from Iran. Why'd you come?
No freedom.
No freedom?
Yes, in Iran. Iran is dangerous country. No freedom for speak, for writing, for singing.
Not a
for
single person though
thinking.
coming in from like Mexico. It's like all, I mean, anymore if you look, it's all Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, China, Turkey, tons of people coming in from China. All dudes, all men, all young men within a certain age demo. Very interesting to say the least. Welcome back to the program. Dana Loesch with you. Joining me on this issue is Senator Marsha Blackburn from the beautiful state of Tennessee. We so enjoy having her on and her strong voice on behalf of border issues and many other issues as well. Senator, it's good to have you. I just wanted to get your initial reaction to this new video that came out this morning, early this morning from Bill Melugin. I mean, this is, I don't know that I've ever seen it. They said that it's a record number of people who are not from either Mexico, Central or South American countries that are coming across the border now.
Oh, indeed. Last year, we had people from 170 different countries cross that border. There are increasing numbers that are coming from what we call countries of interest: Iran, Pakistan, the Chinese. You have seen an 8,000% increase in Chinese. And Dana, as you said, they're primarily young, single male. And that is generally what we're seeing at the southern border. And then they are being moved around the country by the Biden administration. And even sometimes you have the Biden administration going into these countries, and we understand there's a little north of 400,000 that they have picked up in the country, they've put on a plane, and they have flown them to a destination in the United States and have given them the coveted status of parolee. And this gives them benefits and work permits. And they did 800,000 of these in 22, 1.2 million in 23. And then we're understanding so far we've got like 400,000 that they have flown in and given this status. We don't know what the full stats are for this year, Dana, but what we do know is this. The Biden administration is doing everything they can possibly do to try to make illegal immigration legal. And then they're trying to bolster the population of these big blue cities and states that have been losing population, because these big blue states and cities don't want to lose federal money. They don't want to lose congressional seats. And they think bolstering their population is going to have them keep that. That's why we are fighting back. We've got legislation that would prohibit these individuals from being counted in the census.
We're talking with Senator Marsha Blackburn from the beautiful state of Tennessee. It's been, Senator, gosh, over a year, well over a year since H.R. 2. And I know that in the Senate, Chuck Schumer is trying to revive this border bill that he tried to push earlier and didn't get a lot of Republican support. Why wouldn't he just bring up H.R. 2? I mean, that seems to do the job of what they claim needs to be done, which goes to your point. They don't really want to solve this issue. It would be so easy for him to take up H.R. 2.
Yes, the president could just reverse the 94 executive orders he took in the first 100 days, and that would go a long way. President Trump had this issue right, and we had a secure border. H.R. 2 would have restored much of what President Trump did, and it passed the House and came to the Senate on May 15th, 2023. So it has been with us 373 days. It had its first-year birthday here in the House without Chuck Schumer or Dick Durbin ever touching the bill. And it is a border security bill. What Chuck Schumer is trying to do right now, doesn't have anything to do with actually securing the border. They've got this little formulary of how they will give discretion to close the border. This is fully intended to leave that border open. It would prohibit future presidents from going in and exercising control over that border. And we know that it would never go anywhere in the House. That bill is not going to pass. But the Democrats are in trouble. The open border is the number one issue with the American people. Every town is a border town, every state a border state. People are living it. They see the impact of drugs and human trafficking, sex trafficking, gangs, crime. They're talking to local law enforcement. They're saying, hey, look, we're doing the best we can. But until the federal government secures the southern border, we can't get this under control. So people are figuring this out. What Chuck Schumer is doing is wasting the Senate's time. It is silliness. It is something that will not have an impact. It's going nowhere. It is a political stunt.
And voters, as you said, Senator, they're seeing this because every
Yes, they are.
town is a border town. There was a report that came out from Chicago just last week that we had as part of the program talking about the resources being depleted just because of the illegal immigration coming in from the southern border. Talking to Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. I wanted to ask you as well, you had signed, it was signed into law, it was your bill with John Ossoff to protect missing and exploited children. And this is, you know, where Biden finally makes a good move. I'll give him that much. He listened to you. He listened to you and your direction on this. This is the existing procedures on reporting via technology. Tell me about this, because this involves Facebook and Snapchat and all of the different social media platforms that youth and you know our kids use today, and the abuse potential and the way that there's kind of been a loophole there that's existed until your bill. Tell me about that.
Yes, indeed. And this came to light as we worked on protecting children in the virtual space. And the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, mentioned to us that they were only allowed to keep this damning information, CSAM, child exploitation, grooming, recruitment of children. They could only keep all of that for 90 days. And we know pedophiles and predators make the internet, they use these platforms as the number one way to recruit and groom and exploit these children and to distribute this sexual abuse material. So my legislation allows them to keep this information for a year. It allows them to transfer this information via the internet to law enforcement and to your judges and your prosecutors. The goal is to get these people into court and to carry out that trial. And 90 days was not long enough to do this. Also, this puts the responsibility on these social media platforms. They talk about community standards and they talk about how they moderate content, but they were not reporting these pedophiles and predators who were distributing or processing this material. They weren't reporting them to the NCMEC cyber tip line. Now they have to report the individuals and the information to that tip line.
That is huge, because this is,
Yes.
I didn't know it was only 90 days. I
Yes.
thought they could actually keep it way longer than that. And I was wondering, well, why is there such a difficulty with these agencies communicating with each other and sharing this information? And that makes sense. Talking to Senator Marsha Blackburn. One other quick topic for you, Senator. We appreciate your time, because I know that you've been everywhere, and we're gearing up for a fight during an election season with some of some of this legislation. I wanted to quickly ask you about looking at what the foreign policy situation with Gaza, the floating pier that the president created with using taxpayer dollars, and now reports came out yesterday showing that all of the taxpayer-funded aid that the United States was going to send through that floating pier off of Gaza actually is not even getting to anybody, which we kind of figured it wouldn't. It's being hijacked by either Gazans that are selling it on the black market or Hamas. What is your thought on that? And know they've suspended the aid for right now, but I mean, where do they go from there? I mean, that's an embarrassing failure on behalf of the administration.
It is truly an embarrassing failure. And so many people said this is never going to work because Hamas for years has been taking all the resources that were going into Gaza and also that were being distributed through the UN. And of course, we defunded UNRWA, the UN program. Dana, if we want to help the Gazans, if we want to help Palestine, the very best thing we can do is eliminate Hamas. And Israel and the IDF are doing their best to obliterate Hamas and to get rid of that terrorist faction, that terrorist organization, by the way, funded by Iran. They have carried out the October 7th attack. They have built those tunnels. They have worked to carry out this. Their goal is to destroy Israel, to destroy the United States. And what we need to do is to make certain that Israel has what they need to eliminate Hamas.
Yeah, there we go. And has what they need and needs transparency from the administration for sure. Right. Senator Marsha Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee, always a pleasure to have you. More of my friends have moved to your state than to move to Texas. So I don't know what that says. It's the great Tennessee-Texas competition to get all our friends coming in from New York and California. And they're voting red, Senator. They're voting red.
Good deal. I like it.
Thanks so much. Good to see you.
You too.